Hey everybody, and welcome back to Not Qualified. This week we're talking about Tenet. We're not qualified to make Joe and Zef. Bro, this is so stupid. Okay, you start.
Well, okay. I think Tenet is more fresh for me than it is for Zef.
Yeah, you've seen it more recently.
I saw it a couple days ago, and then, this was the first time I've seen it. I didn't see it when it was in theaters. As of right now, it's January 21st. I saw it the 19th or 18th, something like that. It's been out of theaters for a while, and I was like, man, I missed it. I didn't get to go see it in theaters. Oh, well, I guess I'll get it on DVD. Got it on DVD. Man, that movie rocked. That was so cool.
So cool.
I love Nolan. He's one of my top 10 filmmakers.
Yes.
He's so great.
I sent my list of top 10 filmmakers to you.
Yes.
Recently. I sent it to Zef as well, your roommate, and he roasted me for not having Christopher Nolan on there.
He talked to me about it.
Really? Did he really?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, hey, your friend Zephyr has a dumb list.
Yeah. Look, I told them Christopher Nolan's probably like number 11 or 12. You know, you just got to cut the list off somewhere.
Yeah, there's so many great directors. It's such an awesome genre of medium.
And it's my list, so it was like things that personally speak to me. And I think Christopher Nolan's great.
Yeah.
But most of his movies don't connect with me on a personal level in the same way. I'm come out of it, I'm like, that was so cool.
Yeah.
But I don't feel a personal connection like I do with the John Carpenter or Sam Raimi or whatever.
That's a fair critique of him.
So there we go.
He definitely, and going from that into Tenet, the main character, who is known as the protagonist,
has no name, and we just talked about a movie that has no name, a protagonist with no name, and that's They Live. And I when I watched both of them, I made the connection because I was like, ooh, like a protagonist that's meant to be a blank slate.
Yeah.
That's just the good guy, and you're not supposed to put anything, and that's the point.
Yeah.
I love that. So continue.
Anyways, Tenet, great movie. If you're not already aware of Christopher Nolan's filmography, he did stuff like the Dark Knight trilogy, Inception, Memento, Dunkirk. Am I missing something?
You are. But I'm going to let you flounder here.
Okay. Well, anyways, it was really good.
I mean, Interstellar as well.
Interstellar, so God. Great movie. What a visionary. He obviously doesn't focus a ton in a lot of his movies about personal backstory. I guess I shouldn't say that. So this movie and Dunkirk.
This movie, really. Yeah. So this is a thing I don't get. It's a common critique of Christopher Nolan that I hear is like, oh, he doesn't know how to write characters.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's all about plot and it's all cerebral and you don't know how to write characters. And to that, I want to say, Inception made me cry.
Oh,
like you are dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, it's not bad to focus on the plot when you have a cool freaking plot.
Yeah.
When you have a movie like Inception or Interstellar, or Tenet, where you're having to devote all mental energy to what is happening on screen. Yes. I don't want to have to think about how the character feels about what's happening on screen. I'm sorry, maybe I'm just like a bro or whatever, but I love Nolan, and I love him for that.
Absolutely, yeah. Interstellar, so I have to make a confession. I'm a baby when it comes to movies.
Yeah, same.
I cry constantly. I can't help it. It doesn't even have to be a sad movie. If there's a powerful moment... Bro, I cried in Moana. Around children.
You cried in Moana?
Yes!
Okay.
I know.
We need to do a Moana episode.
Moana episode.
Did you really like Moana?
I did like Moana.
Okay, then we can finally do an episode where we disagree.
Okay, right
But we'll save that for later.
Fair enough.
I didn't hate Moana, but whatever. We're saving that.
Anyways, regardless if no one develops his characters or not, he's a great filmmaker. And as far as Tenet goes, I thought he excelled in that. Because I can't imagine how long he sat on the script or worked on the script. Because, bro, I thought I was going to bleed out of my ears watching this movie.
I'm writing a movie right now, and there's nothing supernatural in it. I'm just trying to get a love triangle straight, and it took me an entire afternoon of sitting down and just thinking with a pencil in my hand to understand how that works. I don't know how he wrote this movie. I don't know how he writes any of his movies.
Yeah.
Having to work that out is like doing calculus.
Yeah. If you're not aware, the movie follows a man called the protagonist, and he's he's investigating with other parts of his spec ops team this shooting that's going down at an opera house, and then he gets captured and he takes a suicide pill to escape it. Well, it turns out the suicide pill was a test to see if you were, trustworthy enough to go into this new, like, even deeper level of, like, special ops group of military
called
people.
Tenet.
Called Tenet. It's a special group, special secret society.
And they fight the future.
Which you find out involves himself. It's very interesting plot.
You can't even give a summary. It's just wild. But basically, the present is at war with the future, and the future is sending things back in time. Like you can invert things. Oh my gosh! You can invert something's entropy so that it's moving backwards in time instead of forwards, and then you meet in the middle.
So
fight. It's weird.
Imagine there is a 1 week span of time. The movie not only goes through that week, it goes through the week twice. So the movie as a whole goes over that week, and then it goes through that week backwards. Yeah. And then it goes back through the week where it stopped off forwards again to meet in the middle. Mm-hmm. It's a very interesting plot. It's a very interesting device to use as storytelling. He did it in a very similar storytelling manner, like Memento, which you haven't seen as far as I know. Very similar storytelling style.
Okay.
But no, I thought it was fascinating.
It's fascinating. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. I loved the concept. I loved the execution, cinematography. One thing I will say, everybody's complained about this, is the sound design. I mean, there were times when the boss were so loud you couldn't even hear what the characters were saying. I don't know who made that call.
No, I've
never had that problem in another Nolan movie, so I don't know what the deal was. I was just like, what is he? What?
Me and my roommate were watching the movie, and I had to ask him, like, hey, man, can I turn on the subtitles? I don't know what they're saying. And we were like, you know what? It's just us two alone. Yeah. We scooted our chairs right in front of the TV, and we didn't know what they were saying. Yeah. Because the music was so overpowering. So if you're going to watch the movie, if you haven't watched it yet, and you decided to still listen to this far and just get a spoiler alert of all the things we already talked about, watch it with subtitles the first time.
So from here on out, spoiler alert. I'm going to go into spoiler territory and just talk hardcore about the ending. Which if you haven't seen it, click away now. I mean, we've already said some, but not enough. It doesn't make sense anyway. So
if we're going to talk about any movie or TV
just
show,
assume it's going to be spoiled.
Assume it's going to be
from here on out, it's
territory.
hard spoilers. Yes. Okay. So some things I don't understand, and I need you to help me clarify. And I think it's because I watched it in theaters without subtitles. So I had one shot, and it was months ago, and I haven't rewatched it since then. Okay. So, at the end, there's a giant battle. Yes. Who are they fighting?
I watched Ryan George's pitch meeting about this movie, and he just said, you don't really know. You don't really see. They're just shooting at abstract people.
So here's the thing. The bad guy was Professor Lockhart from Harry Potter 2, right?
I guess.
Yes. I forget the actor's name. Kenneth Branagh. I don't know how to say his name.
Yes. Yeah. Kenneth Branagh. Yeah.
Bad guy. He wants to end the world because he is a nice guy whose woman rejected him. And
he's an incel who is also dying of pancreatic cancer.
Right, and he wants to end the world, not just end the world, but end it from that moment of happiness. The one moment of happiness in his life outward. Yes. Okay, so we get that. He's getting all the pieces of this time bomb together. It's a pipe bomb. Sorry, that was a throwback reference. Speaking of Harry Potter. To end the world, and he's collecting it through time. I might just be blanking, not remembering. Who made the bomb?
It was a woman that wasn't born until several decades in the future.
Okay.
Who took the algorithm that you use
that destroys time
to make things have reverse entropy.
Okay.
To create Tenet.
Yes.
She took the algorithm, split it into 7 pieces,
and hit it
physical pieces. Hit it throughout time.
So people couldn't do it? Who built all the machines that are scattered around that you go through to invert you? Because there's like those big bunkers you go in and it just inverts you?
I don't know, because the protagonist...
He started Tenet.
Years in the future.
Yeah, so who's the woman?
I don't know. You don't know. She's not born yet.
Okay, so wait. But the protagonist starts Tenet before she's born still. Who built the machine? Does he build the machines?
We don't know.
This is like a chicken or the egg thing.
It's kind of like everything in the future and in the past that revolves around this thing is all revolving around this specific thing. You know that he has a future in creating Tenet, creating the machines possibly. There's things that happen in the past that regard this thing.
Okay.
The entirety of this revolves around defeating Kenneth Branagh.
So we're seeing the epicenter.
Yes,
and not
exactly.
And then we're seeing the past, future, past, but not the future, past, future.
Yes.
And the epicenter.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. That makes sense to me. If it makes sense to anyone else.
Sure, yeah, I guess.
All right, well, I love Tenet. You want to give it a number? And then we'll talk about last thoughts and whatever else we have to say.
I loved it. Me and Steve came out of it. We couldn't stop thinking about it, like constantly, just because it was so mind-boggling. Trying to cerebral. And you go back and I have yet to rewatch it, but we need to rewatch it and just figure out things. And apparently, there's like the red and blue coding between the two teams is like throughout the movie.
Interesting. I didn't catch that at all.
Because all of it revolves around that one moment on the boat. So,
it's like how Bruce Willis is green and Samuel L. Jackson is purple and what's his name? What's his name, bro?
Who?
What's his name? I don't want to say it. They're listening.
Who?
But I don't want to give it away. I want to think of it. I want to remember it. I was just talking about him. James McAvoy.
James McAvoy.
He's yellow. And then the lady's pink. I'm talking about Glass, bro. What do you think I was talking about?
I'm gonna be honest. I forgot Bruce Willis's. I don't know why.
It's okay. Whatever. Okay, continue.
Great movies, by the way. If you
we'll do an Unbreakable Trilogy episode for sure.
As far as a raw score goes, I would probably. It's hard to rank Nolan movies because I love every one of his movies. Yeah. I'll put it 19 maybe. That's a decent score.
Yeah. I'll put mine at about 28. One of the reasons why is because I think I'd rank it lower than like Inception, Interstellar, and the Dark Knight trilogy for me. And part of the reason why is because not that like Tenet had really good cinematography.
Yes.
But it did not have any good memorable set pieces. All of the major action happened on a generic looking highway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I remember in the theater being like, okay, this like they were on an interstate or whatever, and it just looks like an interstate. Like there were not really cool set pieces until the very end.
I will adjust my rating. I think I'm going to go back to 22 or 3. 23. Okay. I'll say 23 because I will say that yes, it is. It doesn't have those memorable bits. Those like this is definitely sticking out to me as like. The moment. Like in Inception, you have the hotel spinning. As they're fighting. You have the black hole in Inception.
Interstellar.
But this is just like, it's because it's moving back and forth constantly throughout time. You're like, they've been interacting with each other throughout the movie constantly. Yeah. So you don't really have a specific moment to nail down. Mm-hmm. But I have to give it credit because... I can't stop thinking about that movie.
It's so good. It's really good. It's really a minor thing for me. It's just for me watching it, I was like, there's nothing cool looking to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, there are parts where I'm like, ooh, that's cool. But like in general, it just felt like the set pieces and the places where the action was happening weren't as exciting as other Nolan movies to me. So,
final thoughts. I don't know if you called it. I'm sure you did. Me and you tend to stay on the same page as far as movies go whenever we watch them. Whenever they were fighting the guys in the hallway, I absolutely called it.
Absolutely. As soon as it happened, I leaned over to Caitlin and I said, that's him. He's fighting himself. Yeah. Immediately.
Because like he took off threw off the helmet and he was like, oh, snap.
Well, even before that, I was like, I suspected. And then whenever they take off the helmet and intentionally don't show his face and he's surprised, I was like, okay, it's obviously him.
What I didn't expect
can't be anyone else.
Is that it wasn't just David Washington. And
John David
Washington.
I think.
And
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. Yep. It was just John David Washington.
Yes.
I was like, oh, it was just him. It was just the one guy in the same moment moving back and forth against the same forward.
It's so hard to get
your head around. It was wild!
Well, then I had so many questions about, like, if you punch somebody who's going the opposite entropy of you, does it hurt them?
I don't know, because they have that moment in the hallway where he's fighting himself.
I mean, yeah, they're fighting, but I'm like...
the hits don't have impact.
No, yeah, it's the opposite of impact. They're sucking back, so I'm like, what does that feel like?
I don't know.
Bro, It's a movie for a reason because it makes no sense in real life. I cannot apply that to real life in any way.
Exactly. If you happen to watch Ryan George's pitch meeting on this, he obviously raises a lot of questions like, okay, does the light work backwards? Do they have flashlight eyes?
I thought about that.
Do they use the bathroom backwards?
Yeah.
Like, what is... Where does it stop? You don't really know. There's really no way to say. It's just a sci-fi movie. Just have fun with it. But also, you can't
I was sitting there in the movie, and I'd miss dialogue because I was thinking about the implications of this. I'd be like, wait. So, like, I was thinking down to the molecular level. I was like, are protons negative and electrons positive? Like this will affect everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a good...
It was good. It was great. You should watch Tenet.
And we
don't think too hard.
Every time we watched it, or the one time we watched it, we were, like, constantly stopping to think... And then it didn't help that Nolan uses IMAX film on only parts of the movies he makes. But in Dunkirk, he used 3 different aspect ratios for 3 different timelines that were going on. Yeah. And so I was like,
I still haven't seen Dunkirk.
Has to do with time.
Yeah.
What does it mean? No, he just likes to use IMAX every now and then in the movie, and it really threw me off.
He's not consistent with it.
Yeah, you just have to know if you're going to watch the movie... And for whatever reason you listen to this podcast and you're going to watch the movie again anyways, which I recommend you do, great movie, just know that the aspect ratios with the black bars on the top and then it goes for full screen have nothing to do with the story at all.
I didn't see it. You watched it on Blu-ray, which is probably why. I watched it in theaters and I never noticed that. Oh, I never noticed any aspect ratio changes.
Yeah, we watched it on Blu-ray. So, yeah. But anyways, great movie, 23. Yeah.
Yep, 29, 28. There we go. Join us next time.